It's your turn to be sick now.
I know, it is my turn to be sick. Me and like half the Leafs roster. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. My name's Emma and I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host Marcie.
Hello.
I'm ill.
You know what? I'm glad it's you for once.
I'm glad it's been literally everyone else but me, and I haven't been sick in like over a year, and I get hit with something and I'm so congested and I'm sniffling and I've become a mouth breather, which really sucks when you host a podcast because I'm having to like not talk. I'm having to like breathe.
I hate when I have to like breathe.
Yeah, so if you hear sniffling, it is me sniffling away, sadly.
Poor little Emma.
Yeah, I know, so miserable. Well, we could talk about the Flyers game, and then we can talk about Leafs in Washington, because that leads into a very lovely conversation about the Department of Player Safety.
Woohoo!
Leafs and Flyers. The biggest story out of this is, well, John Tortorella scratched his captain.
Yeah, that. Oh dear.
It took John Tortorella less games to scratch his captain than it took Sheldon Keefe to scratch TJ Brody.
Oh my god. Oh, I hate this team.
And we'll talk about TJ Brody later, when we actually talk about Leafs in Washington, but it just was bad defensive. Like, you could be like, oh, unlucky, none of the pucks were going our way, unlucky bounces, yada yada yada. You could say that whatever you want, but it was just bad. Like, there was bad defense from the Leafs that game.
There was some pretty shocking stuff.
Yeah, no Lyubushkin, he's sick, like yours truly. He got initiated until like joining the Leafs lineup. You get sick. But yeah, like it wasn't a good start. Flyers scored 19 seconds into the game. Literally, I like had switched over the tabs for a quick second, and when I had switched back, they scored.
I'd not even I'd put the game on and I was like, oh right, we're starting. I'll just check my phone to see if I had any messages. Next thing I know, I'm looking up. I'm like, oh my god, did we? No,
we're in Philadelphia. And it's very obvious that like the Flyers were gonna come roaring out of the gate this game, considering what happened last time against Philadelphia, where we absolutely like wiped the floor with them, and it was a very dominant game for the Leafs. And yeah, Riley Brody doesn't work anymore, and this game may have been the last. I hope this game is the last time we see Riley Brody. Who knows? It's Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah.
But also as well, like, we had inklings of Bertuzzi, Matthews, Domi, like, playing top line together, because Holmberg, like, there was a little bit of, back and forth. I think McMahon was up there for a little bit. Holmberg got taken off. He started on the top line in that left wing. Well, sorry, right wing. Because, of course, Marner's still out. Didn't even make the road trip with them. Mitch Marner, he did not even go on the road trip with the Leafs. Who knows if we'll see him against Edmonton on Saturday? I don't know. Because then also as well, the Leafs play on the road back-to-back Sunday. Like, because, yeah, of course. Yeah, let's give the Leafs back-to-backs with travel.
It just makes so much sense.
That truly is the best option here we could have. Really, really, really great with that one, NHL schedulers. Yeah, Woll was healthy scratch. Jones was backup, which a lot of people were like, I was confused for a second, because I was like, what are we doing? And then I remembered we play tomorrow, and if Woll, like, we played the next night, And if Wool had to go in halfway through the game, then he wouldn't be fully rested. And like I think this is just the luxury of having 3 goalies.
It's like being able to be like, yeah, we'll give him a rest. We'll get him ready.
We'll have him fully rested. Like as you know, like as if he hasn't played in the past 2 weeks, but like
they really wanted to give him a rest.
They really wanted to make sure he was fully rested before taking on Washington.
Keith just been like, right, Joseph, go home, tuck yourself up in bed, get well rested.
See you tomorrow.
Little hot chocolate.
But yeah, no, fully rested. Which like is a luxury of having 3 goalies that I don't think any other team has right now.
Don't think
so. No, because news out of Calgary, Vladar is doing season-ending hip surgery. Did you see that this morning? I saw that this morning.
Youch.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about this Flyers game because it was just a bad game, but I do want to bring up these Sheldon Keefe comments that he said, because that was he said something I was like, what are you saying, my guy? This is via Mark Masters. He was asked specifically on what he thought about Ilya Samsonov's game, which I thought he played a perfectly fine game. Sure, he allowed 4 goals. The defense was shit.
Yeah, it was a bad game from the defense that in turn basically made him look really bad.
Yeah. But Sheldon Keefe on Ilya Samsonov, he was like the group. I didn't like anybody tonight. Forward, defense, goaltending, I didn't like anybody.
Yikes.
That is like strong words.
That's something coming from Sheldon Keefe.
From Sheldon, like, yeah, like you have to from 75% of the other coaches in the NHL, that's like nothing. Like if John Tortorella had said that, we'd all be like, that's just John being John. It's a regular old Tuesday for John.
But it's like coming from Little Miss, I avoid the point.
He is day to day away from being day to day.
That's still
right. That is him saying they all were fucking shit. They were garbage. And that's him like yelling in the locker room going, you guys were all garbage. You guys all played like crap. You guys all sucked. Except for you, Joseph. You didn't do anything wrong. You guys were all bad. I need better from you.
Oh, no, because it's like, as bad as this sounds, it's like the things I would do to just be in that locker room being like,
post game.
I didn't play, and just watching Sheldon rip everyone a new one.
No, that's the thing, because like Joseph, like that's the thing. I'm like, what do you do if you're like, I don't know, like Joseph Wool, and you're like sitting there, you didn't play in the game, like you didn't even sit on the bench, and you're sitting there like.
Do you just sit? Do you try not to? I'd be like trying not
to laugh.
I'd be sat there. I'm like, it's like when you're like sat with your family and you like your sibling gets told off,
your sibling gets in trouble.
To sit there and pretend you're not absolutely pissing yourself.
No. It's when like you have a supply teacher and you know you didn't do anything wrong, but like the class behaves like garbage, and then the teacher comes in the next day and it's like, so I got a note from the supply teacher.
It's like,
that's how they open the class, and you're like, oh no.
And you're like, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I had that once though. I had like a teacher who, it was like middle school, like we had an art teacher. Not to pat myself on the back or inflate my own ego. She had favorites. I was one of her favorites. I used art club as a way to avoid going outside during recess in middle school. That makes sense. Yeah. So but she was yelling at the class, and I was sitting there like looking down, like I was like trying not to laugh because I was like, this is so fucking stupid, and I know she's not yelling at me because I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh god.
But yeah, let's talk about a game that the Leafs actually did win though.
Yay!
which is against Caps, which is so unlike the Leafs, though, to win the second game of a back-to-back with travel.
Yeah, it was like I went into it thinking, oh, like, fuck, we're gonna lose this.
Oh, I know, that's the thing where I was like, okay, we lost last night, we're losing tonight.
That was absolutely no
Write it
chance.
in. Washington Capitals, you're welcome for the 2 points in your chase of that second wildcard spot in the East. You're welcome for that one. All right, so Saturday against Edmonton. That's what I was ready to go. Joseph Wool gets the start. No, we like we mentioned, TJ Brody, healthy scratch for the first time this season. Actually, is it the first time this season, or is it the first time
I think it's the first time
since he joined the Leafs? I think it is
Yeah,
as well.
I saw that somewhere.
I did see that it was his first of something, and I think it was his first since joining the Leafs. Which, you know, is something.
Ouch. But
yeah, I think it is his first just joining the Leafs because it was shortened COVID season, played a full season in 21-22, and then 22-23 he was hurt, right? Because that was when like our blue line all got hurt all at the same time. And we were running a Marcie Giordano, Justin Hall top pair. We talked about this on the podcast because we talked about this with the Riley suspension. Like, I dug up the old archives the last time the Leafs played without Riley. I was like, yeah, it was a Marcie Giordano, Justin Hall top line. Which now seems virtually unplayable. Now that seems like virtually unplayable because, like, first of all, Marcie Giordano is concussed and also a 40-year-old man. And Justin Hall has only played 37 games this season for the Detroit Red Wings.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
But yeah, TJ Brody, healthy scratch. Finally, it only took 68 games.
Yeah, no biggie.
Shout out. Ryan Reeves also not in this game because his eye is still swollen shut from his fight. By the way, pointless. I think that fight against the Flyers, we didn't talk about this. There was that fight between Reeves and Delorier.
Says a lot.
Pointless. It was stupid. First of all, Ryan Reeves looked like a fucking idiot during the fight because he lost. And second of all, my favorite part is on the broadcast, they then cut to them chatting during warm-ups, like chatting and smiling. I was like, dude, so you just did it. Like, I think especially with the death of Chris Simon this week, like, that's just a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a stupid thing to do, right? Because you can't fully take out, like, this is a conversation that I feel like it does not deserve to be in the middle of a conversation about Leafs and Washington Capitals 60-some games into the season, the regular season. Like, this is, it's a very nuanced conversation. But I will say, like, you can't fully ever take headshots or fighting out of the NHL. Like, that's just not something's going to happen.
Like, you can try.
You can try.
But it won't.
It's not. But you can reduce it. You can reduce the number so you can lessen the risk by more strongly enforcing when it does happen. And it's the same goes for fighting. Like, you can be like, well, fighting, like, I'm saying this as someone who loves a good old-fashioned tilt in a hockey game. I really do. Why did I call it a tilt? But, like, at the same time, you can't, like, at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, there's a time and a place, and, chatting it up during warm-ups to try and be like, okay, why don't we go during the game? That's just stupid.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, when stuff like that happens, I'm like, really, like, fair enough if you're going after someone who's hurt someone on your team. Fair enough, be my guest. I'm not going to stop you. Like, if you can justify it as a response to something, then yes. But if you're just going to, like, go up to him in warm-ups and be like, hey.
Why don't we go?
Yeah, why don't we go? Let's go. And I'm
like the same
I'm
way
sorry.
I would like be like, hey, do you want to go get a coffee later? Like, no, that's not how this works.
Yeah, it's like, it genuinely, it was like, watching it felt like I was watching a fight in secondary school, like on the field.
On the field or like in the bathroom. I think I actually like all that's missing is like the really tight huddle of middle schoolers with their phones out
Yeah.
recording the whole thing. And like there's like really shaky Snapchat videos of it that circle around later. I have one of those videos on my phone from when I was in middle school.
Oh no.
But I really should just delete it. I should, but it's like one of those things where I'm like, this is so stupid. This is dumb. I wasn't the one filming it. It got sent to me.
Okay.
Before. I wasn't one of those people because I was like, this. Why would I spend more time in my school bathroom than necessary?
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's exactly what that fight felt like. So I was like, anyways. But that's why Reeves was not in this game and Noah Gregor slots in. We also have the return of Mr. Mono. Connor Timmons is back.
Lil Miss Mono has returned.
I don't like I do think, you know, it's kind of cruel to give a guy a nickname based on like a contagious disease, a contagious illness that he got. But I would find it absolutely hilarious if the guys in the locker room started calling him Mono. Find it absolutely hilarious. In the same way where it's like they like Bunting last year would call Kerfoot Harvard.
Yeah. Oh, I missed it.
Just call him Mono. But yeah, so he's back that's his first game back since getting Mono. So welcome back, Connor. Didn't really notice him, which honestly for Connor Timmons, usually a good thing. Solid game.
No complaints.
Yeah. The weird thing to start, like I think, you know, also Joseph Wool starts in that. I think I said that already. But Bertuzzi didn't take a shift until halfway through the first. That was weird. And then, because I think there was, you know, when people finally did notice, being like, hey, wait a minute, Tyler Bertuzzi hasn't taken a shift yet, and we're like 10 minutes into the game. A lot of people thought that maybe it's punishment from Sheldon Keefe, like being like, well, we can't play short a guy, so I'll just sit you for the first half of the period. Turns out, though, he was sick. Bobby McMahon said after the game, being like, oh, actually, like, he wasn't feeling well and almost didn't play, but because then we would have been short a guy, he had to play. So that's why. And then there was a really weird quote from Max Domi also about it that I was like, did you see that as well?
Yeah.
That was a really weird quote. I'm gonna pull it up because I was like, what is this quote? Hold on.
Where
it's
is it now?
I know, hold on. Oh, well, yeah, of course you reposted that. Sorry. I think it's Mark Masters, but I know someone like oh my god, I'm getting asked questions. I'm trying to find things. Hold on. Hold on. You find that. Hold on. I'm being asked to do too many things at once.
Oh, where's it going?
I think it's Mark Masters.
I know I like something.
I think it's Mark Masters. So if you just scroll through Mark Masters' account, it's like fairly recent.
Mark, where have you gone? Oh yeah, here it is. I can't comment on what he's got going on. I'm sure you'll find out at some point. He's a man. I love Ty, what he's doing, and he's battling through every single game.
What does that mean?
What?
I can't comment on what he's. It's really funny because Bobby McMahon said Bobby McMahon said exactly why. Like Bobby McMahon was like, oh yeah, he just wasn't feeling well, and then Sheldon Keefe also said, oh, he was sick, and he like. We almost didn't play him, but then we would have been short a guy, and then he was like, no, it's fine, I'm good to go. And then there's Max Domi, who's like, I can't comment. I'm like, dude,
You got
what are
Max
you
coming in,
saying?
If he doesn't get better in the next few days, we're just gonna have to euthanize him. Take him to the vets, put him down. And I'm like, babe, what?
I can't comment on what's going on. It's like there's some like skin. I'm like, dude, he's just gotten what half the Leafs locker room has gotten. I think everybody on the Leafs has gotten. I would love to know who on the Leafs has not gotten sick this year, and I feel like the list is very, very short.
Yeah. I think everyone's.
Because I know I think Austin Matthews has been sick every single time something has gone through the Leafs locker room, I believe, which is really funny for a guy with no kids. And
that man has an immune system worse than me, which is very difficult because I am ill all the time, as you know.
Gosh. Oh yeah, I know, because you're also usually around the same time as my boyfriend, so I get you guys both complaining about me being like, I'm sick, I'm dying.
I'm ill. I'm dying. This is it. Take me to the seaside for one more breath of fresh air.
But yeah. What did I have? Oh yes, it was a better defense. Maybe that's because TJ Brody wasn't playing, but who knows? We can't comment on that. It's just maybe it's a coincidence.
Yeah, look at that.
Overall, better game. Leafs also opened the scoring very early with Austin Matthews scoring 16 seconds into the game. Could mean nothing. Or,
everything. No, I am taking, I know Austin scored it, but I'm taking full credit for that goal because I was sat watching the game with my friend. And I sat and I was like, oh, it'd be nice if we could score 19 seconds in this time. We laugh at, we look at each other. We look up at the TV. He scores! Straight after I'd said it. And I'm just
it was gross. It was absolutely disgusting. I was on the phone with my mom because my mom had called me before the game had started and I was FaceTiming her. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like looking up at the TV. I'm like, oh, pucks just dropped. I'll try to pay attention to both. And she saw my jaw drop. And she's like, Emma, what? I was like, the Leafs just scored. She's like, what? I was like, Mom, the Leafs scored. She's like, didn't the game just start? I was like, yeah. That's the point.
The Leafs just scored.
The Leafs just scored. But yeah, also as well, that's the first of many for Austin. He scored officially 2 goals this game. Scored technically 3. One got called back for offside.
I got so annoyed at that.
It's the fact, yes, he was offside, but it's the fact that it was so far before the goal. That's the thing where I was like, if it's so far before the goal, and the refs don't. This is Matt Duchene's legacy.
Yeah,
This is Matt Duchene's legacy. Unfortunately, this is what I'll know him for. Nothing else. None of his other accomplishments. Has this guy even won a Stanley Cup? Who knows? I don't think so because he is on Dallas. No, because I don't know. He hasn't. I knew that. Yeah, no, he has not won a Stanley Cup. Because I forgot he played for Ottawa. Sens legend Matt Duchene.
Oh my God.
I think he was really bad. He was in a really bad trade. There was a trade that was really bad. Oh yeah. Well, what the Ottawa's the Sens trading for him bad. Because Andrew Hammond was part of that package, but also a conditional first round pick that became Bowen Byram. And then trading him to Columbus was also bad because they got absolutely nothing for it.
Yeah. Oh,
So
dear me.
Matthew Shane, this is your legacy. Bad trades by Ottawa, which Fork found in kitchen, and the reason why offside goals are reviewable, and why Austin Matthews doesn't have a hat trick.
I genuinely, I don't think I've ever felt more like a middle-aged British man at a football game than I did in that moment. I stood up. I was stood up yelling at the TV. Like I was
Like he
pointing.
was offside, yes, but it's the fact that the broadcast, well, at least the TS, like the Sportsnet broadcast. That's what I was. We were watching two different broadcasts. You were watching TNT. I was watching Sportsnet. The Sportsnet broadcast was like they couldn't find the clip for the longest time. Like they couldn't find the moment where Tyler Bertuzzi was offside because it was so far back in the zone entry. That's where I'm like, okay, if it's like 20 seconds before the zone entry and Tyler Bertuzzi never touches the puck in that entire time, like at the end of the day, does it matter? Absolutely not. But that's just my opinion on it, and I know it's then it's like, well, then it becomes like not arbitrary, but then it becomes like a judgment call, and you don't kind of want things like that to be a judgment call, but it's like it's still a dumb thing.
Yeah.
It's still stupid. I can still sit here and call it stupid. Yeah, also as well, I can't believe that like Ovechkin has been in the league for what, 19 years now. Can still score on the power play from the same exact spot every time, and no one can stop him. No one has figured out a way to stop this man. When he's sitting in that face-off circle, like at the edge of the circle, with his stick up in the air, waiting for the pass.
Like, guys, I'm waiting.
I'm open. Like, how have we not figured that out yet? You just have to park a guy in front of him to block the passing lane.
Yeah,
but no.
It's like, nah, it's like, yeah, this is what you could do to stop this from happening. And they just go, no, I don't think we will, actually.
Which is like very weird. It was like, like, okay, why haven't we figured this out yet? But yeah, two of the goals that Joseph Wool allows are Alexander Ovechkin goals, which like good for my fantasy team, bad for the Leafs. Also as well, otherwise it was a really good game from Wool. I think it was one of those ones where it was like, a win's a win. Got after some bad games from against Boston. It's good to, have a good game. I will
afterwards.
Yeah, well, his comments were really funny after the game, where I was like, I can tell you've gone to the Ilya Samsonov school of post game comments.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like he said something where I was like, I'm 95% sure Ilya Samsonov has said something incredibly similar. Because he goes, like, it's like, oh, it's hard to lose when you score 7 goals, and then does a little like chuckle about it. I was like, Ilya Samsonov has said that exact line several times before.
I just want to say one thing. Joseph Woll has the most old man little chuckle in the world. Like, you can see,
he's like he laughs at his own jokes.
Oh god.
What happened to our lines?
Hilarious. He's so annoying. I can't stand him.
Also as well, thank God, well, Dylan Strome is a very lucky man that Alexander Ovechkin scored that goal, that second one, because dude very much turned into Mitch Marner there, where he had a wide open shot and chose to pass. Never in my life have I yelled shoot at the other team. I was sitting there being like, what are you doing? and then passes it to Ovechkin. I'm like, okay, yes, but also
shoot!
Also Dylan.
Come on, Dylan.
Come on, buddy. Shoot the puck. But yeah, again, like it was basic. Also as well, time to talk about Tom Wilson.
Whoo.
Okay, so it was like in the third period, Tom Wilson, battle along the port, decides to take an absolute swing at Noah Gregor. Like, essentially, you have to go watch the video for it because it doesn't do it any justice, where he like straight arms him and Noah Gregor gets a stick straight to the mouth. Yeah. You can see the recoil where he's like, whoa.
It's like slow
motion. Yeah, so you can't do that.
No, you very much can't.
You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. And he got a penalty. I think it was reduced to just a minor because I don't think it actually like drew blood.
But it's like, the man lost teeth.
I think he lost part of his teeth. I don't know how good it,
but it looked
like it looked like it chipped, especially on like the side. Yeah, I don't know how good Noah Gregor's teeth were pre getting a stick to the mouth.
But I don't think they were that bad.
I don't think they were that bad. No. There were some like pretty bad ones. I don't think they were that bad. I think I have the like, oh, I gotta find the here we go, from Chris Johnson, the Department of Player Safety. Tom Wilson, he has been offered an in-person hearing for his high stick on Noah Gregor, which means he could be suspended 6 games or more. This is a little cheeky from Chris Johnson. Wilson obviously has a lengthy past file of transgressions. That's why I reposted his tweet and not the one from the Department of Player Safety, because of that last sentence that made me chuckle. Because obviously, Tom Wilson comes with a rap sheet. I feel like no one's no stranger to that.
He's been there, done that many a time.
Now, not to rehash the Morgan Riley debate, because God knows we spent like 3 episodes on that of this show. We kept saying, "Oh, this is the last we're going to talk about it." And then something else came out. Oh, this is the last we're going to talk about it. Then Gary Bettman wrote a report. Oh, this is the last we're going to have. Tom Wilson gets high stick. And obviously people are going to be like, well, surely it can't be more than 5. Well, I think it can be, because remember, like, not to be like, well, remember, Morgan Riley got 5 and it's Morgan Riley. Tom Wilson is Tom Wilson. I'm seeing 6.
Yeah. Like,
because he's been offered an in-person hearing.
Yeah, I think 6 is probably what it's gonna be.
But then of course then comes the argument where he can go up there and be like, well, look, I apologized to him. Because if you watch the video is hilarious, because he very blatantly high sticks Gregor and then immediately turns around and does the thing that you do when you accidentally hit your sibling too hard and they start to cry. And you're like, okay, I'm sorry, please shut up before mom notices. Shut up, stop crying, you're fine.
You're sort of like, I'll give you chocolate. You just
I'll do your chores for a week. Just like, stop crying. I've done that multiple times.
So many
times. Like that's what it is, right? So he could be like, well, I apologized to him. I didn't mean it. Because look at this. Look at me turn around and be like, quick before mom notices.
But it's maybe you just because you've apologized, it doesn't mean it was like a good apology.
Also as well, like, does your reputation, like, does an apology really outweigh your reputation as a player?
It's like, fair enough if it's like the first time a player's ever done anything like this, and he turns around and he's like, shit, sorry, my bad. I hope you're okay.
That's on me.
but then it's Tom Wilson.
It's Tom Wilson.
He's not, like, I don't think he's gonna be up for Lady Bing this year. That's all I've got to say about it.
Which,
Like,
I hope you saw the tweet that I did send you. Regarding the Lady Big conversation.
Oh, yes, I forgot to look at that. But you did send me. Oh, shit, where's it gone? Right. Oh, wow. Okay. Austin Matthews for Lady Bing.
Austin Matthews for Lady. That would be so funny.
That'd be brilliant.
So I think, like, if it comes down to, like, if him, because him and Kyle, anyways, I will have that discussion later when we're done with the Tom Wilson chat. But yeah, so I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Especially because, you know, George Paris is George Paris. Right? Who knows? I will say though, Tom Wilson, when do the Caps next play a game? They play tomorrow. They play on Friday against Carolina. Ooh, that game's on Sportsnet. Ooh. So like that's the other thing. That's where I don't know is his hearing today? Because it said like TBD for the date and time of the hearing. Is it today? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah,
what happens if like does he get to play? Like, does he still play like tomorrow? And then if the hearing's not until Saturday, that's what I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Also, so Leafs then, like we said, play Saturday against Edmonton, Sunday against Carolina, back to back with travel. Less than 24 hours between the start of the games. I
am so excited to watch these games.
Yeah, Leafs on Saturday take on Edmonton. And then Carolina. Who do you start Saturday though against Edmonton? Keeping in mind that you have to start the other one against Carolina.
I'd probably start. What's Edmonton been up to recently? Have they?
Because I feel like I was like, because I'm like thinking of like how good of a game Samsonov had against Carolina.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
right?
If it wasn't Carolina next, then I'd be like, start Samsonov against Edmonton, Wall against whoever else. But it's Carolina.
And like, okay, yes. Before you were like, well, the Leafs lost against Carolina. That, like, yes, it was a shootout, but he still had like a good game. The Leafs just played like crap. And it was like the last like 2 minutes, like literally the first like, 45 minutes of that game, what more than that, like 50 minutes, like more than that. But like that's what I mean. Like Samsonov had a really good game against Carolina. So I would put him in against Carolina and then play Wool against Edmonton. Because I think Wool has played against Edmonton if we look at his game logs. Yeah. Already this season. Scroll. Sorry. Hockey reference. Game logs. I got it pulled up. I feel like he has played against Edmonton this season. Or I'm imagining. No, he hasn't. Oh, no, I remember why he hasn't. Because it was the West Coast road trip this season. Now Marcy's mad at me.
Thanks for bringing that up, Emma. Thanks a lot.
Sorry. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's like either or, and I guess like at the end of the day, it's like you could just alternate them through so you have a guy more rested, but like you just have 2 days off. Right? So I don't know. It was the GM meetings earlier this week, and we talked briefly about the one thing that we heard on Monday come out of the meetings, which was that Amazon series. But there was more that came out of it. There was more that came out of the NHL meetings. There's a whole full thread by the brilliant Elliot Friedman that about minor rule changes that need to go to. They have to still go through the approval stages, but these are the ones that the GMs agreed on.
Yeah.
One of them is adding goalies to the list of players who can get a penalty for intentionally dislodging the net. The Matt Murray rule. Which is so funny.
This is his legacy.
This is Matt Murray's legacy. I will, like, yes, this is Matt Murray's legacy. Also as well, like, he's not playing right now, which is so funny. Dude has had hip surgery. Like, will we see him again this season? Who knows? Will we see him ever again in his career? Who knows? He won't be for the Leafs. On a face-off after an icing, right now defensive center gets a warning for a violation, but offensive center gets tossed. There is an ask for an offensive center to get a warning as well. Wow. Thrilling.
Riveting.
If a goalie is pulled by concussion spotter / injury, replacement gets a warm-up. Okay. If a goalie loses his mask and play is blown dead, other team gets an offensive zone draw with choice of dot, no matter where the puck is on ice. The Joseph Wool rule change. No, it happens to every team. That's just one of those ones where I was like, okay, why does that, like, at this point, I'm like, this is what the great GMs of our league are going through. New coaches challenge. If penalty is called for puck over glass, this is the big one, I think. If penalty is called for puck over glass, they can ask for a video review to prove it did hit something. This only is for when a penalty is called. Cannot be used to call a penalty on another team. Key, if you're wrong on this challenge, it's a 5-on-3. I don't know if we're ever going to see this get used unless, like, you have to be so sure that video review is going to go your way. Like, you have to be 100% sure because it's going to be it'll be a 5-on-3 if you get it wrong. To be like, no, it actually deflected off of this instead of, like, we didn't shoot it over. You know what I mean? Like, it's that sort of thing. Same for a minor penalty for high stick, can be challenged to show it was a teammate's stick or own stick. Again, 5-on-3 if wrong. Previously had to be a minimum 4 minutes for review. Cool. Again, gotta be really, really sure because you're gonna have the 5-on-3. If a player refuses to play the puck off of high stick or hand pass, non-offending team will get a face-off one zone better than where the play occurred, i.e. if it happens in the D zone, it will be in the neutral zone. And then the one that really this one was really random. This is via Chris Johnson. The NHL is considering a change to morning skate protocol so that the visiting team would be permitted to start 15 minutes earlier than the typical 11:30 a.m., which would obviously require home teams to start 15 minutes early than 10:30 a.m. Riveting stuff. What a league.
Calm down.
I'm trying to find the one where it was like about the over the boards. I think I tweeted about it. I think I definitely. I don't remember. I thought it was in with all of those, but it wasn't. So that's why I'm trying to figure out like who tweeted this.
Yeah. Who is responsible?
But it's like so far down. But like, yeah, those like that's the thing where like none of these rule changes, I'm sorry. None of these rule changes are really all that like life-changing. Oh, here we go. One immediate change. Players will not be able to have legs over bench in play while not on ice. Warning, then bench minor if repeated. There was a recent skate cut to an official. That's why it's coming now. That's via Elliot Freeman. That one, I think that one's going to get so many guys.
Oh my god, it's
gonna get
it's
like
so
if you thought the Leafs were bad with too
just
many men
you
before,
this was a
it's about
warm
to,
up.
now we're getting straight because like it's so like I feel like these guys since like Pee Wee hockey have been doing line changes half over the bench, right? Like, and it's immediate, and you only get a warning. And I think I asked though, I was like, is it a warning per player? Which it would be hard to track, so it must be one warning per team. So it's like only one guy gets a warning. I'm just thinking of that god awful line change by the Leafs that they made yesterday. Where I'm like, okay, so we're screwed. We're screwed.
I was sat watching that happen, and I was like, how? What? I was like, this team genuinely ages me.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's just like some of those I'm like, okay, whatever, like, but like this one I wondered how much often some of them, like that one where it's legs over the bench. I don't know, like I wonder if that one will get called. Like how often that will get called. Like if we'll see it, it will be something where like coaches will get mad if it doesn't get called. I don't know. Also as well, Gary Bettman's again once another GM meeting on another range of disappointing comments from Gary Bettman regarding CTE. I will fight him on this topic.
Wow, how surprised and shocked are we? This was totally unexpected coming from Gary.
Like he still is like denies that playing in the NHL can lead to developing CTE, and I'm like, Gary Bettman, I beg you to watch Concussion, the movie Concussion with Will Smith. Yeah. I beg you to watch that movie.
Like he is so like, you know how you get old people who are like, oh, these mental health excuses. Oh, it's no excuse to not work and do your jobs properly. Oh, it's just made up. That is like Gary Bettman right now, but with CTE. And I'm just like, at what point do we just like take him back and shoot him? Like, at what point do we just euthanize Gary Bettman?
Yeah, it's just like, especially like this week of all week where it's like, it's really, like,
come on,
really, have some tact, Gary Bettman. You know, on some happier news though, congratulations to Brady Tkachuk and to his wife Emma, who are becoming parents.
What?
I'm laughing though because Ottawa Senators play tonight. It's their Pride Night tonight against St. Louis, and they asked, I guess, like, and then so they had Brady Tkachuk available for media availability, and he, like, most of his media availability was just like, so you're having a kid now. It was all just about the fact that him and his wife are expecting, and then like the last like 20 seconds were like, so what are you thinking about the game tonight?
Oh god,
But it was like, so how's dad, like, is Keith Tkachuk excited? And he's like, yeah, Keith Tkachuk can't wait to be a grandfather. And then it's like, so what about your brother? Brother's excited. So like, this is the debate of like, what's
being an uncle is terrifying.
I was like,
that child is gonna be a menace to society.
Oh, wait till like the third generation of Tkachuk hits the NHL. It's so over.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I think about that too. I'm like, there's probably gonna be like guys like still playing in the league who are like, so I played against your dad.
Oh my god.
Or I played with your dad, like we were teammates. But yeah, that was so funny. Saw that and I was like, oh, good for them, but also at the same time, like Brady Tkachuk's like what, like 24, 25? It's not that old.
I don't want to. I don't want to have like the thought of me in the next 4 years having a child.
Yeah, he's 24. That's horrifying. I don't like that.
No, no.
Well, also like Peyton Krebs, he's also expecting a kid too.
I think I was
That
more
man
shocked
is
about
12.
that is that man is what? I was like, oh
He
my god.
is actually a 12-year-old child. Oh my, like what is he doing being born in 2001 and is expecting a baby?
No. No.
Sorry, he's the same age. He's the same age as my cousin. Do I send that to her to be like, this guy's the same age as you?
Oh my god.
She's gonna be like, Emma, stop.
Yeah, like, come on, chop. Your turn.
Give me, yeah, chop. Give me a, I don't know, a second cousin. Is that how this works? Like your mom's cousin? Is that not your second cousin?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'd probably be called aunt anyways. We're close enough. Also as well, I just have on here PWHL updates. Yeah, Toronto on 11 game win streak, which is longer than the Leafs' longest win streak in franchise history with 10. So what up? Go women.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Leafs are feminists for sucking so bad.
The Leafs are feminists for being bad.
The Leafs are bad so that women could be good.
Yeah. Also as well, the trade deadline also came and passed. Now this happened like the trade deadline was Monday at 4:00. We recorded our episode on Monday. We were done well after 4. All of the trades didn't come through. Well, I think maybe they came as we were finishing up the show on Monday, but like we didn't check our phones until after we had stopped recording, and we're like, ooh, let's see what's going on there. And then there was two trades. I'm just gonna pull them up via the PWHL Instagram because PWHL, here we go, because those are gonna be easier for me to find. There's 2 trades. Ottawa was involved in both of them because yeah, Ottawa. Sure. All right. Yeah, let's do that. Make bad trades. Actually, no, this one wasn't that bad. This one was between Montreal and Ottawa. Montreal receives Amanda Boulier, a defenseman, and Ottawa receives Teresa Venisova, I believe is how you say her name. She's forward. Cool. And then this one has me going, why? Boston receives from Ottawa Lexi Adida, a forward, and the rights to Katrin Lonergan, another forward, and Ottawa receives Cheyenne Darkangelo. Why? Like if you follow the PWHL in any capacity, or at least keep up with Ottawa, you would know that Lexi's like very quickly made herself a fan favorite, both on social media and on the ice. So it's just like a very interesting trade where I was like, okay, surely there's a plan for this. Like surely Ottawa is making some sort of plan, but good to know that bad trades are not just a Senators thing, it's an Ottawa thing.
No one is safe.
Yeah, no, PWHL, like, Battle for the Top, that's also something that's coming up as well. There was, like, this past weekend, there was some takeover games. Like, Detroit had their takeover weekend. But then also as well, there's one coming up with Ottawa and Montreal that sold out in, like, 20 seconds. Like, I think it sold out in, like, 20 minutes, all of the tickets. For a game between Toronto and Montreal at the Bell Center. That's 20th of April. The tickets went on sale yesterday, and I think I saw that they were all gone in like 20 minutes.
Okay, so I saw it and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, which is so cool. I think that's so cool. And I know like there's been some talk about New York, and you know they haven't been able to get the same attendance at their games as the other 5 teams have been able to. And I think part of the problem is just like the fact that they play in Connecticut, and like if they played closer to New York City or in New Jersey, like they would be able to draw more of a crowd just because it would be easier for people to get there. And there'd be more people who could get there, and because like the thing that's like so attractive about going to a PWHL Ottawa game is that they play at TD Place, which is downtown. So it's way easier for most people living in Ottawa to get there than it is to get out to Canada. Not even Canada. It's basically in Stittsville. It's across the highway from an outlet mall, okay? It's so stupid ridiculous to get all the way out there. But it's so much easier. Or like Toronto plays downtown at Mattamy Athletic Center, which is the old Maple Leaf Gardens. Boston they play fairly accessibly. I can't remember exactly where their arena is that they play at, but I feel like it's very accessible. I think it's right by a college campus, isn't it? I don't know. Minnesota, easy. Montreal plays at Place Bell. I think they play where the Rockets play, Laval Rockets. Right? Place Bell, which is not the same as Centre Bell. They're 2 different things. I've had to explain this to people sometimes because they'll be like, "Oh, I got top concert tickets for this concert in Montreal," and it's like where the Habs play. I was like, "No, it's not, because Place Bell and Centre Bell, 2 different things. They're not this. They have the same things. They are different," which is yes confusing because they're both called like Bell. Like they both have Bell in the name, but like Centre Bell, that's where the Habs play. That's downtown. Like in Montreal, downtown Montreal, and then there's Place Bell, which is where the Laval Rockets play, and that's more in like Laval, which is also kind of downtown. Montreal's a very big city, okay? It's like also as well, it's because it's like Rogers Center, which is where the Toronto Blue Jays play, and then it's Rogers Place, which is where the Edmonton Oilers play.
Yeah.
Not the same thing.
Very much not the same.
Very much not the same thing.
They're at least 5 miles apart.
At least 5 miles.
It's true.
More like 5 provinces.
That is at least 5 miles.
I don't know if you have anything else to say hockey related. I have a baseball story that I think you're gonna find really intriguing.
Hit me.
But I don't know if you have anything else hockey you wanted to talk about.
No.
No?
Not that I can think of.
Not that you can think of. Okay. So, you know how we, earlier this year, before the season even started, there was, not a scandal, but there was the Shane Pinto gambling, sports betting investigation that broke, and turns out he got suspended for 41 games for sports betting, and no one really knows what he did. I think we never fully got it officially from the league, but I think then through like reporting we figured out what it was. Now here's one that's even bigger. I don't know if you do remember when I was very obsessed about Shohei Ohtani potentially coming to Toronto.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
we recorded a podcast that week, and I was like, if this happens.
I was following it on Twitter. Like I kept seeing things about it, and I was like, okay, this is interesting.
But yeah, so Shohei Ohtani signed the biggest contract in MLB history with the LA Dodgers this season after not re-signing with the LA Angels, Anaheim Angels. Then there was news yesterday via ESPN and the LA Times surrounding the fact that the Los Angeles Dodgers interpreter for Shohei Ohtani was fired on Wednesday afternoon after questions surrounding at least $4.5 million in wire transfers sent from Ohtani's bank account to a bookmaking operation set off a series of events. Ibrahim Azura, the longtime friend and interpreter for Ohtani, incurred the gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation that's under federal investigation, multiple sources told ESPN. So this is via this ESPN article written by Tisha Thompson. So basically how it went down is they showed up at this guy's sports betting, Matthew Boyer, who is under investigation from the FBI regarding illegal gambling, showed up at his house, did a search. It remains illegal in California to bet. And government regular space picks require bettors to pay up front for their wagers, while illegal bookmakers accept bets on credit, which is exactly what happened in this situation. And they searched on this guy's house, and through all of the papers and records that they saw that there was something about there was multiple wire transfers from Shohei Ohtani's bank account. Now here's where it gets interesting.
Wow.
Mizuhara, both Mizuhara and Ohtani are very, very close. They're very, very close. Mizuhara has been Ohtani's interpreter since he came over to MLB. And then when he signed with the Dodgers after leaving the Angels, he took Mizuhara with him. So in a Tuesday interview, Mizuhara told ESPN that he asked Ohtani to pay off his gambling debt, to be like, hey, can you help me out? Like, I'm in a little bit of a bind. I'm $4.5 million in the hole on sports betting, which it doesn't say if it's like specifically baseball betting, because if you are anyway at all associated with a baseball team or the MLB or you're a player, you can't bet on baseball. It's the same rules as hockey. You can bet on other sports if it's legal in your state and where you play, like where you are to do so, but you can't like bet on the sport that you're involved in. That's just how it works. So he'd be like, hey, yo, Shohei, I know we're really close. Can you help me get out of the hole 4.5 mil? Which you better hope you're real tight friends if you're asking your pal to pay 4.5 mil.
Yeah.
I do not have 4.5 mil to help you with that, Marcie.
Damn it, me and my gambling debt. My $4.5 million.
Mizuhara said that he had previously placed bets via DraftKings and assumed bets placed through Boyer were legal, which it's not, because it is illegal to bet on credit, which is what Boyer did. Obviously, Ohtani wasn't happy about it and said he would help him out. He said, I want Shohei to know Shohei had zero involvement in the betting. He did not, it was like that, but Shohei knew. And then ESPN reached out and was like, hey, yo, can you give us further detail on this now that this guy got arrested? And then Mizuhara changed his story and told ESPN that Ohtani had no knowledge of his gambling debts and that he was actually stealing from Ohtani's bank account himself.
Oh my God, why would you change the story? Oh my God, how much of a dickhead do you have to be to go this far and then be like, oh, actually, everything I've told you was a lie?
So the thing is that so that the bets were never on baseball. So he wasn't betting on baseball. He was betting on international soccer, NBA, NFL, and college football. That's what Mizuhara told ESPN. So because MLB players and employees are allowed to bet on sports other than baseball, but not with illegal bookmakers or offshore websites. The league rulebook states that bets placed with the illegal bookmakers are subject to punishment at the commissioner's discretion. And then, so here's what you could have. There's two stories to this. Is, first of all, the real, there's convoluting story, right? Because Mizuhara is changing his story. So the two options are, the realistic choices is, one, Ohtani paid for his interpreter's debts and knew about it and was like, don't worry, I got you. I'll cover here, have some money. I'll help you get out of this hole. Or two, Ohtani had no idea that this is what his interpreter was doing. No idea that he was betting $4.5 million which is a crazy amount to bet on sports. Like, come on. And that he had no idea, Otani had no idea, so his interpreter, when left alone with his computer or whatever, wire transferred the money himself, like essentially stole from Otani right from under his nose. Or there's this third crazy conspiracy option that everyone's like, oh, maybe this could be it, but like it's so unrealistic. But you're like, could you imagine on the impact this could have on professional sports? Is that the real, like, Otani is using his interpreter as a fall guy, essentially, to be like, actually, it was me who was illegally sports betting. But it's like, but you got to tell them it was you, which is so not true. Like, I don't think that's true.
Yeah. That's like,
that's like so tinfoil hat.
Yeah, no, that's like me being like, oh yeah, Emma, can you like cover for me real quick? I promise I didn't do anything. And you're just like, what?
What? But yeah, so I think it again, once again, opens up the discussion with gambling and sports and like sports betting in general, and especially because of how much advertising, like, you know, we talked about it. I don't know if we ever fully really talked about the Shane. I don't think we did, because all of that stuff came out after we started the show. Maybe we talked about it really briefly at the beginning of our show, like in the first couple of episodes.
Yeah, we did talk about it, but I can't remember like how much.
I don't think, yeah, like that's the thing. I don't think we went that much into detail about it. Because I don't think like it was that much. There was like not trying to think. I don't, yeah, like we definitely talked about it. We didn't talk about it in depth, but like
No.
Their sports betting ads are everywhere. Like you watch TV, not even sports TV, like not even sports. You just watch TV in general, like cable television, and there's sports gambling ads, right? Bet 365, bet whatever, bet MGM, bet blah blah blah, right? All of them. They're always there. And the MLB has an official like sports bet of the NHL. Like MGM Resorts is an official partner of MLB, which they own BetMGM, which is their sports betting. MGM's a huge company, Jesus Christ. But it's like, it's all that marketing there, and it's always the commercials, and when you, especially when you watch sports, it's all the time. And so it's like really interesting where it's like, okay, yes, it is illegal to sports bet like this in the US. You broke a law, yes. But I think it also opens another conversation around gambling and sports. And that's why I decided to bring it up on the show. One of all, because it's a crazy story.
Yeah.
But yes, this is a hockey podcast, and we saw this through what happened to Shane Pinto this season is about how like he got suspended 41 games, and no official story was put out by the NHL, but there was like some reporting that was done that said that it was like he just got his friend to log into his like his account for him and like change his fantasy football lineup or something like that. Like it wasn't even place a bet. Like that's where it was, where I was like,
it wasn't. I was like, come on.
Which it's like, yes, okay, so he broke the rule, like he broke the terms and conditions of the sports bettor that he was using, but like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, he broke the rules of the sports bettor that he was using, but also at the same time, like, I know like it was setting a precedent for sure for the league.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's like interesting to see like where this goes, especially because, you know, it's an
interesting one.
There's Pete Rose, who like was like banned for life for sports betting. Like
Oh dear.
Like he. Anyways, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Especially because like he was banned for life, so it's like so you're gonna ban depending on what comes out and like what Shohei Ohtani knows. It's very interesting because Shohei Ohtani is like the biggest name in baseball right now. So, anyways,
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where I was like, I wanted to share with you because we had time to film.
Thank you for sharing, Emma.
You're welcome. That was my story time for you. I had it all ready. I was like, oh, I'm like looking at what we can talk about, and I was like, it looks a little thin. We'll talk about Shohei Ohtani and this like crazy story to come out of the MLB because we don't talk a lot about baseball on here because Marcie doesn't watch baseball.
Well,
so
no, I do occasionally. I watched it a lot last summer.
Yeah.
Like I had nothing better to do, so I was like, oh, I'll just watch baseball. But it was very much it's one of the things I'll have it on in the background and I'll just sit and I'll be like, this is cool. I don't watch it like I watch hockey.
Well, that's the thing, is like baseball is like it's also like it's one of those sports where it's like, oh, there's a game on, I'll put it on while I get some work done.
Mm.
So I feel you. But I love going to games for sure. Love going to Jays games.
I'd like to go to an MLB game one day. One day.
Gotta get you over here.
Yeah.
We gotta like time it right so we can do like hockey and baseball. So that means it has to be like either like no, it literally has to be the month of April. Like this first half of April.
Easter break, baby.
Yeah.
Let's put the inflated school holiday price for flights.
Yeah. That's the thing, Easter. Or we'll just like wait until we have like adult money with adult jobs.
Yeah.
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 Once we have adult money with adult jobs, no one can stop it. And adult vacation days, no one can stop us.
We will be unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Catch me. No, I cannot. There is no job that I could ever do out of school that would have me buying like season tickets for the Leafs. Catch me at all the Leafs games.
Catch me watching all the Leafs games.
Catch me
from my sofa.
Yeah. Oh my god. Also, just because I want to bring it up because I have it written down. Wild versus LA. 154 penalty minutes.
What happened?
Combined. That's how combined across both teams. Also combined 12 10-minute misconducts.
What happened? I saw some people talking about that game and I was like,
did you see the clip of Pierre-Luc Dubois going after Brock Faber?
No. What? An attack on Brock Faber?
Hold on.
How dare you?
Hold on, let me pull it up. Hold on. Do.
I'm not being funny, but fighting Brock Faber is like fighting Theodore the Chipmunk.
It's so funny.
Oh my god. Wait,
I sent it to you. I DM'd it to you. It's so silly.
Oh my god. This team. Oh my god. You do not put your hands on Brock Faber and live to tell the tale. Like, I'm sorry. But come on.
That's so funny, isn't it?
Oh my god.
That's like not the only drama that there was last night. This one was purely on social media. Also, by the way, that Wild and that Minnesota LA game, Minnesota lost 6-0. Marc-Andre Fleury got pulled after allowing 5 goals.
Oh.
Which is
Oh.
really great. Thanks.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah, no, really great to do when you're in a playoff hunt. But yeah, I don't know if I'm sure you saw this because you were on Twitter last night. If you were on Twitter last night, you definitely saw this. There wasn't a lot of games going on. So I think everyone saw that there was only like 3 games or something. One of them was Dallas and LA. Not Dallas and LA. Dallas and Arizona.
Yeah.
And Dallas posted because Dallas won the game. It was like 6-2 or something. And posted their end of game graphic. And at first this didn't have a sensitive content warning. Now it does. It's still up. This tweet is still up.
I'm not being funny. If you have to put a sensitive content warning on your game graphic, you probably shouldn't post it.
And it's a picture of not even, the thing is, it's not even a coyote. Like that's a fox. That's
a fox.
And it's like a green truck and it has the caption "Road Killed." It's bad.
It's like, come on. There's like so many other things you could have done.
And then the social media, like they went back and back and back and like back and forth.
Oh God.
Like, and it's just a thing where it's like it's gotten like it's embarrassing.
Yeah, like just admit defeat and delete the post.
You honestly should have deleted the post. Like, not even like not like you'd be like, well, you shouldn't even have posted. Yes, obviously, I know you shouldn't even have posted it, but like
when you see this many people being like, hey, this was not it.
Cool. Delete it.
Like, probably should delete it.
Like, first of all, shouldn't even be a good idea in the first place, but also at the same time, delete it.
Yeah, because it's like, who wants to see that? No one.
Not me. Not me.
Not me.
Not me. Yeah, so that's what I just have to say. I'm like, that's just like bad social media management, which it's like I get it, like people have bad ideas sometimes. Just like
I didn't know it was possible to have an idea like that bad.
Think a little bit more critically if you run the social media account of an NHL team. That's all I have to say on that.
Maybe we shouldn't post pictures of dead animals.
Yeah, no, really, we shouldn't, like, you know, and like not like, okay, what if if it was a cartoon sort of thing, like a Road Runner?
Yeah, like if it was like a cartoon style sort of thing.
Like Looney Tunes type.
Yeah, that'd have been funny.
The coyote getting hit with an anvil or something.
Yeah,
I'd be like, it's a cartoon. It's Looney Tunes. Like I watch those, Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah. Haha, funny. All right. But it's like because it's like so like photorealistic. Yeah. Like it's realistic. It's a real picture of like a dead. It's not a coyote. It's a fox. But
I think that's also like the most embarrassing part. The fact that
it's not the right animal.
You went to all that effort and you didn't even get the right animal.
And it's still not a good idea.
Ugh.
Right. And then it like started this whole back and forth between the Twitter accounts for like Arizona and Dallas, and I'm like, you guys are just messy.
Yeah, like this is like not even the type of messy that I enjoy witnessing.
No, this is just embarrassing because you represent an NHL team. Right? Like come on. Right, like that's the thing where I'm like, there's some teams that do like a really good job with their social media in terms of also making it like an interactive sort of thing, and then there's some teams where I'm like,
that's not it.
That's not it.
I do have one more thing to say.
Oh god, okay, is this about the Sabres?
No. They're on the night. We'll deal with them at some point.
Monday's episode.
They've been put in timeout. I have so much beef with the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. Why did we not get soup picks?
We got Joseph Woll post-game.
We always get Joseph Woll post-game. Where was my Joseph Woll soup pick?
That's the thing. Joseph Will doesn't start in like 2 games, and we don't. Did we even get soup? Yeah, well we got soup pics from like not that long ago.
Yeah, but where was last night's? Did they not think, oh, you know what? There's this one bitch on Twitter that would love to see this picture. Did they not think about me? Did they not think about my happiness? See, I have beef. We've fallen out. We're not on speaking terms at the moment. Because where was my Joseph Wall soup pic?
Also, as well, I'm gonna bring up Max Domi on TikTok. Did you see that?
No. I've not been on TikTok much recently.
I tweeted the video on my Twitter. You can find it there instead of looking on TikTok.
Right, okay, because I was like, I don't want to have to like search through all this. Where have you gone? There you are. Oh, okay.
Because I sent it to you, and then you were.
Why has Max Domi employed Matthew Nyes?
Well, did you see what I tweeted with it?
Oh.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, this is giving you on the plane. You're like, hey,
like,
imagine.
Hey Matthew, can you help me? I want to make a really cool edit of myself.
Imagine you're Matthew Nyes and you're like sitting at the front of the plane next to Bobby McMahon, and you're like ready to like tuck in whatever, and you've got like Max Domi coming up to you, tapping you on the shoulder, and you're like, yo, what's up? And he's like, so Nicey, can you help me out here real quick? So I saw what you did when, Bobo signed his extension, and I've heard that you have an affinity for editing videos, and I was wondering if you could help me out by putting together an edit, like a highlight of like my greatest like highlights as a Leaf this season, but like and like with cool filters and stuff, like an edit. And then you have like Matthew Nice going, so like an edit? It's like, yeah, like an edit. Yeah, sure.
Like, Bros out here making fan cams for himself, and I'm actually kind of obsessed with it.
Literally, it's either that or he downloaded CapCut and made it himself.
Which is arguably even funnier because there is someone on the team who uses CapCut, and you've still gone, I'm gonna do this myself.
But that's the thing where I was like, I can tell this was not made by someone, like not made by a professional, because it's like
it would not.
Did you ever have like Video Star?
I would sound like she's gonna bring up Video Star, isn't she?
Did you have Video Star as a kid? And
I love Video Star.
And you would make the music videos whatever, and you would put on every single, like, one video would have every single filter possible that you could put on it. And you're like, okay, so for this 5-second clip, we're gonna use this filter.
Oh my, that's brought so many memories.
Me and my cousins would make so many of them. We've made so many of them on the very limited songs that we would have on iTunes, because you could only do it with songs that you owned.
Yeah.
Like
me and my friend made so many of them, sat in the back of her mum's car, like when we were driving, we were like going places. So there's just somewhere out there, there's many videos of me and my friend age like 11, like lip syncing to fucking Lady Gaga or whatever.
No, for us it was like, yeah, for us it was like whenever my cousins would come over, and so we'd either do it like in like the basement of my grandparents' place, which is like the most, like, picture like 70s basement, exactly what my grandparents' basement looked like.
Beautiful.
And so we did that, we would do like there, or we would do it like if they would come over to like our house and we do them. So there's one to Counting Stars by One Republic.
Oh my god.
There's definitely multiple Imagine Dragons ones because I'm thinking about like what music we owned, and
Yeah,
it was like
I
my
was
cousin. If we were on my cousin's iPad, he was really into Imagine Dragons. So like think like every like classic like 2013 Imagine Dragons song.
Mm.
That was it. Counting Stars by One Republic. Payphone by Maroon 5. The clean version because it was my mom's iTunes.
Oh yeah.
And Katy Perry's Hot and Cold. Those were our greatest hits.
Yeah. Did you ever make like the little iMovie trailers?
Yeah. Not only did we make the iMovie trailers, me and my cousins,
movies.
we did a short film. I think it must have been about 25 minutes in length.
Oh
a
my
full
God.
short film, which entirely improv. It did not have a script. It had costumes though. We had costume changes. We had props. We had a villain. There was a whole plot to it. And it all was because we spent like the prior 2 days. My grandparents had this like interlocking stone pathway in the front of their house. And we had individually colored in every single square of this interlocking pathway with like sidewalk chalk. It was all based around that. And it was like the power of, and essentially it boiled down to using the power of friendship, we can save the world.
Oh,
25 minutes long.
This is where people are gonna realize the differences between me and you, because basically every summer,
two people who thought that me and Marcie were the same people, you're probably about to be proven wrong.
You're about to realize that we are different in certain respects. So basically every summer from the age of like 6 to, I mean, still now, but not as often. My grandparents would take me and my sister away for like 2 weeks in a caravan on the lovely east coast of England.
Ooh, living it up.
I know. We fucked it up. But because they have a caravan there and they go there. They basically live there now all the time. So we'd spend like weeks of the summer there. And there was this other family who lived 2 caravans down, there were 2 children who were mine and my sister's age. We were absolute best friends. Every summer we put on like a full movie production. So there are multiple like 50-minute, hour-long films out there. And do you want to know what every single one, like we made the trailer and then we'd film it all. They were all zombie apocalypse. So it's like anyone who was like just sat in their caravan, just like sat outside, just being like, oh yeah, it's a lovely day, and then there'd be like 4 screaming children running past with an iPad, going, oh my god, the zombies are here.
No, this took us like a full weekend to do, and it's really funny because it's like we're filming this like outside, we're filming this in my grandparents' house, and like all of our families were there, like my parents were there, like their dad was there, and so it was like really funny because in the background of some shots inside you can just hear my mom, it's always my mother, you can hear my mom talking in the background about something, probably arguing with my grandmother to be like, no, like let's not do it this way. Like something like that. It's hilarious. It's like 25 minutes long, and I don't know where it is. It got filmed on my cousin's iPad. I don't think he has that iPad anymore, but like amateur filmmaking, am I right?
I know, but I think it was every single summer, like we'd make multiple movies and they were all zombie apocalypse. I'm like, how did we come up with this many different plots?
Well, isn't there like 16 seasons of The Walking Dead or something?
You know what? The Walking Dead has absolutely nothing on what we made. The thing is, I want to know.
Did these ever get like? Where did these get like saved? Like, how did you have like the iPad storage for that?
They were on
Or did
Well,
they
their
go up to
dad,
YouTube?
no, their dad worked in like technology, so they had like some sort of IT job. So he was like, oh yeah, we put everything on iCloud. So these movies are probably still in their family's iCloud from like a good 10 years ago now.
Oh my god. If we
It's-
find these movies,
The thing is, I've not
ultimate
seen.
movie viewing, ultimate triple
Oh my
feature.
god. Yeah, we'll do like a big movie night when we finally meet up. We'll sit there, popcorn, and be like, right, time to watch our terrible, terrible acting. You've just got like me acting out like dying from a zombie bite.
My favorite
But
thing is like my cousin, my older cousin, she really didn't want to be in it. She was like, I'll record the whole thing. I'll be like the cameraman, I'll be the director. Like, I don't want to record anything. I'll edit it and everything. We're like, but we need a villain because like me, my sister, my other cousin, we were like the three like main characters. We were the heroes. So we're like, but we need a villain. So there's this one scene we convinced my cousin to do where she's the villain, and but we were like, it was like but you can't show my face. So we had to film her from behind the whole time. It's so great. It's so great. I'm telling you, I'm like so sad. I have no idea where this thing ended up. I don't know if it's like gone or what. Like it took us 2 days to film, and like my, like right up until because we were there for like a weekend, and well, I think we have quite a long episode.
Because we got a bit distracted.
We got a bit distracted.
Just
But
a
yeah.
bit.
So we'll leave it off here. We'll be back on Monday, as always, with another episode. Hopefully I don't sound so congested. I feel like I sound very congested.
You don't
So
sound too bad. I thought
I
you were
don't
gonna sound a lot worse than you do.
I sounded worse yesterday.
Yeah, I heard the voice notes. You were raw.
So Simon dropped it was my 1 year anniversary with Simon yesterday, and we were supposed to go out for dinner, and I was like, I really don't think I can do dinner. Like I think we're gonna have to postpone. He was like, well, can I at least like come by and drop off your gift? And I was like, I don't know why you need to drop off my gift. I now realize why he needed to drop off my gifts. It was a nice vase of fresh flowers that are very, very nice. They're very I'll send you a picture later. Simon. They're out in the living room because I put them out there. It's like, oh, they'll go on the mantle, and that way like my roommates can look at them too. But yeah, so I like answered the door, and he's like, oh yeah, you really are sick. I was like, yeah.
Also, speaking of Simon, I just want to like send myself a post on Instagram, and I love how the top 3 people it is suggesting for me to send this post to is Simon, Ben Doyle, and my tattoo artist.
Dream blunt rotation.
Oh, honestly, could you imagine? Oh my god.
Ben Doyle from Jet Lag. Love you, King.
What an icon.
Truly
Well,
is.
I think so, my mum. I'm sure me and my mum are gonna start watching Jet Lag.
You're just getting everyone into Jet Lag. We
I
love
got
Jet Lag here.
my friend who came around for the game last night because she came around at like 9:30, so we had like 2 hours. Jet Lag. We were watching Jet Lag, and
Oh my God,
I
I
was
love
talking
Jet
about
Lag.
this to my mum, and she was like, "Oh, that sounds good. Like we'll have to watch it when you get home at the weekend." And I'm like, "Yes, we will."
I love Jet Lag. It's so fun. Yeah.
It's just so silly.
It's so silly. Oh my God, I love it. If you ever want to know what like me and Marcie are like as like people who you could actually like watch interact with each other, we are the team dynamic of Ben and Adam.
Yeah. No, that's what I said. Before I pressed play on the first episode last night, I was like, right, okay, so you are gonna see 2 people who are me and Emma, like completely. But I'm not gonna tell you who. You're just gonna have to wait and see. Within 10 seconds, she was like, I know. She was like, oh, it is.
One day when we have like adult money or like an unlimited credit card, we will recruit Cal and we will do our own version of Jet Lag.
That'd be so funny.
Record it, film it, put it out on the internet.
Yeah.
with that being said, that is all from us today. We'll see you again Monday. Hope after 2 Leafs games. Back to back with travel.
Oh, yay.
Donna McDavid. Go Leafs, go. We'll see. Oh, I forgot to do the thing where I plug the socials. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Also, we're on YouTube now. And you can follow the show on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's 4 with the number 4 TH. You can find me and Marcie on Twitter at 60 Leafs for Marcie, at PearB1 for myself. Now we'll see you goodbye. I really am sick.
Got there in the end.
Goodbye.